You will be astounded by Perry Stone's recent comments regarding Joni Lamb. Perry breaks his long silence with a shocking announcement that the entire community is shocked by. For Joni Daystar and all we believed we understood, what does this imply? Ultimately, the truth has emerged, and it's far more significant than anyone had anticipated. Keep watching so you don't miss a thing. Claims made by Perry Stone regarding Joni Lamb that were shocking rocked the Christian ministry world. In the minds of many, this was a reliable and trustworthy institution. Over the years, Joni has built a reputation as a dependable and committed force behind the Daystar TV network. She co-founded the church with her late husband and was instrumental in its global expansion. Stone, however, painted a drastically different picture in his public remarks, one that was rife with unanticipated power struggles, manipulation, and control. Stone said that Joni wasn't merely a quiet friend, but rather a powerful figure operating in the background. He believes she used her wealth to influence ministry messages, program decisions, and further her personal agenda. According to Stone, it's not only about the money or the business, it's also about controlling the networks and other organizations' spiritual trajectory. That was a bold assertion, especially coming from Perry Stone, a prominent figure in the prophetic ministry with a large following. These charges were immediately noticeable. After getting to know Joni, those who had previously trusted and liked her began to question their assumptions. Was spreading the message the Daystar Network's true intention, or was it merely a means to an end for some? Did the radio speeches truly serve to inspire, or were they orchestrated to maintain control and power? Both Christian media viewers and non-viewers found themselves asking these questions time and time again. Following Stone's remarks, others pondered the nature of Christian organization leadership. How does one become to such a high position without ever having worked in the broadcasting industry? Did anyone know about the deals and friendships that were made behind the scenes? As rumors about unexplained network changes and Joni's increasing decision-making authority spread, whispers became louder. Beyond Joni Lamb, it had far-reaching consequences. It became apparent to other divisions and executives that they could have potentially been deceived or hurt as well. Many were startled by Stone's story and resolved to investigate the role of money and power in Christian media further. Trust that appeared unbreakable at first was easily broken. Joni Lamb found herself in a difficult situation that she might not have anticipated due to the charges. Her faith and work-based career, which she had built over decades, was now on the brink of collapse. Questions poured in from all directions as the audience became increasingly enthralled. Some of their backers persisted in supporting them despite the accusations, believing that they were baseless or overstated. A number of people felt hurt and let down. Perry Stone's shocking accusations ultimately targeted both Joni Lamb's actions and the reputation she had painstakingly cultivated over the years. The swift and severe fallout marked a turning point that may alter Joni's future role at Daystar Television Network. Her reputation would take a nosedive among her ministerial peers. Before Perry Stone's shocking accusations made Joni Lamb's influence in Christian media public knowledge, rumors about her had been circulating for years. Whispers that began as small chatter amongst industry insiders soon escalated into a raging debate that cast doubt on her involvement with the Daystar Television Network and the network's integrity. People have long remembered Joni Lamb as the devoted and helpful co-founder of one of the world's largest Christian television networks, which she co-founded with her late husband Marcus Lamb. The public's perception of a modest ministry leader started to crumble as rumors of changes behind the scenes spread. Those who had worked for her in the past began to speculate that her influence over programming decisions had grown and that her financial backing had expanded beyond the network's operations. There were many who believed Joni was involved with more than just running the show. They believed she subtly influenced the show's religious themes. The prophetic teachings and messages that millions of people witnessed were allegedly influenced by her use of her power and wealth to favor certain organizations over others. People were already curious about her source of power, but the fact that she hadn't attended a school for religion or broadcasting only added to their curiosity. There was concern that Joni's financial assistance might have been conditional on something. Did the ministers and speakers feel pressured to agree with her on everything to maintain their positions on the network? Did everyone who wanted to be noticed unspokenly have to agree with her? These things were said behind closed doors by those close to Daystar. There were others who felt the group had shifted its focus from a spiritual cause to a tightly orchestrated media conglomerate. Worse yet, rumors began circulating regarding covert financial transactions and deals. There was talk of offshore accounts, complex deals that nobody could fathom, and gift exchanges between political and ministry heavy hitters. Many people wondered if there was more going on since there was never any concrete evidence made public, but the rumors persisted for a long time. Some believed that Joni had utilized her position to silence dissenting voices and prevent information from leaking out, ensuring that no one would dare to question her authority over the network. The concept of Joni as a sock puppet overseeing a vast network of organizations made many Christians uneasy. Fans had put their faith in Daystar's message of hope and faith for years. Questions arose regarding whether or not those texts had been altered for financial or personal gain. After hearing rumors that painted a drastically different picture of Joni Lamb, some devoted fans lost faith and couldn't make sense of the image they had admired. Not even her advocates could shake the feeling of unease. A few backers made the argument that power struggles are par for the course in large groups and that issues arise in every organization. They believed that Joni had been unjustly singled out by envious classmates or by those who disliked her leadership style. But the rumors persisted, and cracks appeared in the seemingly solid foundation. People started to take a closer look at Daystar's programming decisions when rumors about Joni's influence spread. The shows people watched and the organizations they paid attention to changed, and critics and viewers alike noticed this. Since Joni frequently chose messages that aligned with her goals or opinions and ignored those that didn't, some speculated that her personal preferences played a role in these selections. Daystar wasn't the only one the rumors reached. Some have claimed that Joni's impact extended well beyond the scope of any one network. Had her influence been contagious to other ministries and altered the trajectory of Christian media as a whole? Were her business and political connections also beneficial to other networks? These inquiries fueled the speculation, which in turn made Joni Lamb's involvement a hotly debated subject among Christians. Some caught people's eyes because they were about individuals they were familiar with. Rather than being cooperative or spiritual, some felt that Joni's relationships with influential church members were more businesslike. According to those close to her, she was very selective about the alliances she formed in order to preserve her position and power, regardless of the consequences, such as the ministry's inability to grow or be honest. These thoughts suggested an individual who valued authority over service. Joni Lamb remained mostly out of the spotlight during this period of speculation and whispers. She continued attending events and working on Daystar, but she avoided discussing the whispers in any detail. Because of the lack of noise, people were able to speculate, and their ideas expanded. Her admirers were hoping for an explanation or denial from her, but she remained mum on the matter, speaking only positively about her faith and ministry in public. More suspicion was aroused by the lack of transparency. The public began to question the motivations behind the secrecy and the lack of efforts to clarify matters. Because of this relative silence, conspiracy theories gained traction. Supposedly, the ministry was hiding some sinister truths from the public. Many hypotheses, ranging from financial corruption to spiritual manipulation, circulated on online forums and social media. Reports indicate that tensions rose within Daystar as these stories gained traction. Those on the inside discussed distrust, arguments, and a general lack of courage to speak up. There were indications of internal strife within the network, which had previously appeared strong and united. Both the partner and the employee were conflicted about their allegiance to Joni and their concerns about the direction the ministry was taking. The public lost trust in all forms of Christian media, not only Joni Lamb's reputation, due to the allegations surrounding her authority. Many began to question the transparency and accountability of ministries, as well as their management of funds and power. As a cautionary tale, Joni's story sparked discussions about leadership responsibilities and the perils of amassing excessive power. Ultimately, the speculation and stories surrounding Joni Lamb's influence demonstrated the precarious equilibrium among faith, power, and the media. A tale of manipulation and control ensued from an account of faith and service. The story's impact was undeniable, regardless of their veracity. They permanently altered many viewers' perceptions of Joni Lamb, Daystar, and Christian television in general. Christian media and social networks reacted strongly to Perry Stone's shocking accusations against Joni Lamb. After years of trust, this church was rocked to its foundation by the claims, and its members struggled to accept and cope with the news. Daystar Television Network owes much of its success to Joni Lamb, whom viewers saw as a courageous Christian woman. As a leader who had fought tirelessly to expand a ministry that had an impact on millions of lives across the globe, she was revered by her followers. But now that reputation was under attack, and the media and public responded dramatically. Word spread like wildfire, causing a schism in Christian society. There was a group of people who were angry and shocked because they felt betrayed by a person they respected and trusted. They were distraught and perplexed because they couldn't fathom that a pastor could be involved in financial fraud. The reality that so many individuals were affected by this caused them to lose trust in the network and its executives.
They vented their frustrations and demanded transparency and accountability on social media. Those who were once ecstatic about Daystar's success are now demanding public explanations, investigations, and answers. Additionally, Joni Lamb had a devoted fan base that would not budge from their support. The accusers may have been lying or were part of a larger plot to damage a thriving church, they claimed. Rumors and even grave accusations were unable to dispel the long-standing faith of these supporters in Joni and the church. A lot of people have been urging others to be patient and wait for everything to be revealed before making any decisions. Because they saw it as a challenge to their faith, they encouraged others to keep going even when the going got tough. There was a great deal of animosity between the two factions, and confrontations escalated at neighborhood gatherings and online. The response from the media was equally robust, albeit the tone varied across outlets. Some Christian news outlets covered the story sympathetically, praising Joni for her years of service and highlighting the millions of people Daystar assisted. Although the accusations were distressing, these sources emphasized the need to adhere to the law and refrain from making hasty judgments. They featured interviews with professionals in the fields of ministry ethics and financial oversight. How even the most respected leaders are human and subject to error was a central theme of the interviews. In this coverage, Joni Lamb was portrayed not only as an antagonist but also as an individual caught in a challenging and distressing predicament. Contrarily, the story was viewed more skeptically and critically by journalistic and secular media outlets. The news articles discussed the potential negative aspects of televangelism and its potential negative impact on individuals. Claims made by Perry Stone, Joni's influence, and the network's finances were the subjects of an increasing number of exposes and documentaries. Researchers found some disturbing trends in these studies, leading some to question whether Daystar had shifted its focus from genuine ministry to power and profit. Church leaders' connections to various political and business groups were the subject of media investigations, which exposed their nefarious agendas. Viewers who were already curious about the truth were further fueled in their speculation by this coverage, which made people even less trusting. The dissemination of both accurate and misleading information, as well as the shift in public opinion, were both greatly aided by social media. Hashtags exploded on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as users responded to the claims with posts, adding to the confusion surrounding the story. While some people posted heartfelt prayers for Joni Lamb and her family, others expressed negative opinions or spread conspiracy theories. Fans and opponents engaged in fervent back and forth on online forums. Notable Christians and others with clout spoke out. While some argued that Christian media should be more transparent and open, others argued that we shouldn't make assumptions without all the information. The story's impact extended far beyond its initial audience of Christians due to the rapid dissemination of information on social media. Joni Lamb opted not to respond publicly to the allegations during the media storm and remained mostly silent. Her silence was used for many things. While some interpreted it as polite restraint, others saw it as inaction. Her silence only served to heighten the curiosity and conjecture surrounding her involvement in the scandal. Critics saw the relative quiet as evidence that someone had something to conceal, while fans were curious about the goings-on behind closed doors. Officials from various faiths and families have issued statements of support, urging the public to pray and show patience. The public, however, is eager for more information since few provided clear answers. The entire Christian broadcasting industry was also shaken by the scandal. Concerned about the potential prevalence of these issues, individuals began to scrutinize other ministries and networks with greater intensity. The importance of faith-based groups' moral responsibilities, financial transparency, and accountability started to gain traction. Some networks sought to assuage their viewers' fears by examining their processes and being more transparent about their funding. The allegations against Joni Lamb sparked a greater discussion among churchgoers regarding leadership and trust. Viewers of Daystar for a long time felt that the scandal hit close to home. As if the betrayal were about more than simply work, many people expressed a sense of loss. The ministry, which had previously offered people encouragement and hope, was now under scrutiny. The anguish and bewilderment were intensified when people shared stories of how Daystar's shows had transformed their lives. Some viewers stopped tuning in, while others pledged to keep sending money to the church, all because they wanted redemption and truth to triumph in the end. Worldwide, people felt the repercussions of Perry Stone's charges. Tensions rose within the ministry as employees and partners struggled to balance loyalty with the necessity of transparency. It was said that some insiders left the network due to their distaste for being so closely observed. In the aftermath of the scandal, some remained and discreetly set out to mend fences and rebuild trust. In order to address the need for genuine change, the leaders had to make tough decisions regarding the future. Analysts and lawyers chimed in on the conversation, discussing potential outcomes in the event that the charges were proven. They discussed potential outcomes in the event that individuals faced criminal charges, lost their radio licenses, or were fined. It was possible that regulatory authorities would launch formal investigations, further complicating an already precarious situation. This was no ordinary public relations crisis. The fate of the network and its executives was literally hanging in the balance due to the involvement of the law. Everyone was wondering, what will happen next? During this difficult time, would Joni Lamb respond and clear her name, or would fresh information emerge and escalate the situation? Will Daystar be able to weather the storm and hold on to its viewers, or will they leave for good? Reporters and readers alike were captivated by the story's progression because of these burning questions. Trust in leadership is particularly precarious in faith-based organizations, as the media and the general public demonstrated in their reactions to the allegations against Joni Lamb. It demonstrated how damaging rumors can be, how quiet hurts, and how difficult it is to manage one's public image in times of crisis. Everyone, regardless of status, must take responsibility. The story demonstrated that even famous people can suffer harm. As of right now, the part is far from complete. There has been no let-up in the investigation by the media. Public opinion judges are still considering the evidence, and Christians are vigilant. The events surrounding Joni Lamb and Daystar illustrate how fast life can change, and how challenging it is to regain trust after it has been betrayed. Whether this is a tale of redemption or damnation depends on what happens next. However, one of the most influential figures in Christian broadcasting has had his legacy irrevocably altered by the public's and the media's reaction. Their future is clouded by scandals involving Joni Lamb and the Daystar TV network, which raise serious questions about trust and leadership. Daystar has gone from being a beacon of Christian radio and television to a shipwreck that is threatening not just its reputation, but its very survival. At this crossroads in her life, Joni Lamb, co-founder of the network and a public figure, must make difficult decisions, examine her values and beliefs, and work to win back the admiration of her devoted followers as well as her detractors. Christians and non-Christians alike have been paying close attention to the network since Perry Stone's shocking claims and subsequent investigations. Some longtime fans are doubting whether Daystar's message is still as genuine as before, which has led to a decline in the number of viewers. Is the once thriving and growing ministry now struggling to restore faith in its leaders and shows? The erosion of trust goes beyond a decline in ratings and strikes at the core of the network's mission. Daystar is beset with difficulties and has no idea what to do. Financial pressures are increasing because sponsors and donors are becoming more hesitant to associate with a network that is engaged in controversy. Daystar has to find out how to maintain stable operations in this unstable environment, since the support that helped it grow and reach more people has decreased. There might be a shakeup in the church's leadership if members feel that new blood is needed to restore transparency and accountability. However, power struggles within the group and the loss of institutional memory, which has shaped Daystar's character for decades, are risks that come with this kind of change. Even now, Joni Lamb's role in this future is a hotly debated subject. Will she fight to maintain her position and prove her innocence, or will she resign as leader to allow the group time to recover and transform? Her public silence on numerous charges has left her supporters and detractors wondering what she really thinks. While her reserved demeanor may be seen as a sign of resilience in the face of adversity, others may view it as an irritating absence of accountability. Managing her personal grief, the scrutiny of others, and her professional responsibilities is already challenging for her. This added stress just makes things worse. In the background, it has a significant impact on Joni Lamb. She was once confident in her role as CEO of a large Christian media company, but she is now shaken by a string of scandals, losses, and uncertainties. Her personal and professional relationships have taken a beating. The stress of leading a ministry under attack and the pressure of public scrutiny have forced her to confront hard facts about trust, leadership, and legacy. A desire to heal, clarify the story, and repair what has been damaged is indicative of drive despite these obstacles. Daystar must find a way to assert its character in an unfamiliar environment. Charismatic leaders, extensive reach, and a commitment to sharing the gospel through modern media have long been hallmarks of this ministry. It must address concerns of transparency, leadership, and ethical management if it is to regain its authority. To begin the restoration process, it may be necessary to have independent oversight, encourage open communication with fans, and make people more responsible with their money. Despite the discomfort, this is an essential step in restoring faith and ensuring the church's survival.